Hi, my name is Erica Jones, and I'm a counseling astrologer and a practitioner of metaphysical healing and the mystical arts. And you can find my website at realimaginal.com. And there's a link to that in the description below. So, as I record this in late April 2025, we have a tense T-square formation between Sun, Mars, and Pluto. And this combination can bring up a lot of compulsivity, hastiness, a feeling of urgency, a lot of initiatory sort of energy, getting things started, getting things rolling, and for things that we're already working on, a sense of momentum and drive is very easy to access now. On the challenging side, we might find ourselves creating dangerous situations through unnecessary haste or an overblown sense of urgency. So whether that's on our part or having to be wary of those around us, whether that's road rage or someone driving like a maniac trying to get somewhere, or otherwise acting too rashly. That's a feature of the latter part of April into the early part of May 2025. On the plus side, it's definitely a wonderful time to start a new exercise regimen, to work hard in the garden, to seek out deep and meaningful connections with the natural world, particularly where we can sweat. It's a very physical kind of energy, Mars-Pluto, so it benefits from having a physical outlet of some kind, really working our muscles hard. On the psychological side of things, particularly with the Sun making this energetic T-square with Mars opposite Pluto, the Sun being our conscious center of awareness, the source of a sense of self, of individuality. We could use this particular time or quality of time to inquire into perhaps some subconscious sorts of motives or drives that we otherwise wouldn't really be aware of until we really explore and look for, be open to information about hidden motivations, hidden drives. It's Pluto's sort of murky depths, connecting with Mars's ambition and will, and also one's mission in life, what it is that is uniquely ours to carry out. So that aspect, that component of our psyche is a lot more accessible right now if we want to set aside time for an intentional contemplation and exploration of that. So along those lines, as far as buried motivations, we also have the potential of breaking free from limiting perspectives and limiting relationships of all kinds with Venus's conjunction to the planet Saturn. So Venus is the complement of Mars's action. Venus is all about harmony, reciprocity, community, whereas Mars can drive us to seek our individual desire, to set ourselves apart or to separate ourselves in some way. They're both needed, and having Venus in a conjunction with Saturn under all this ambition and drive and actually courage that can come from Mars-Pluto, a great deal of courage. It could be more possible now than at other times to have a close look at the nature of our commitments. In fact, this, like our social commitments, but I would say even our relationship to commitment, to discipline, to sustained effort over time and sticking with things. So Venus has been in a dance with Saturn since January, making an exact conjunction January 18th and again on April 7th and once more on April 21st. And really the month of April is carrying a lot of the Venus-Saturn conversation, where Saturn is limits, boundaries, discernment, respect, also our obligations to others. And Saturn has this quality of what is true right now. Not what we wish were true, not our aspiration, not any kind of delusion, but what, like in this moment, is actually real. So this push to really have an honest look at intimate relationships, relationships with colleagues, all kinds of connections. Venus is more than just our intimate partners. It's everyone that we share reciprocal bonds with. And I think one real benefit of this, the total gestalt in the sky, focusing on Venus-Saturn, is being real about how we seek to attract others and also repel others from our lives, where Saturn is boundaries and Mars-Pluto is enforcing, like very aggressively enforcing those boundaries. And that can be the ways that we open to others, the ways that we are vulnerable, and the ways that we are unable to open to others. And there's a real opportunity from this first part of 2025 to make changes in what we don't like, what doesn't align with our true trajectory, to what perhaps our soul or some deeper source of meaning is actually calling forth from us. So in this way, it can be very positive. When we're fair with ourselves and with others, and with Saturn's influence, to make the best use of it, to notice what is. It's important not to assign value judgments, good, bad, neutral, irrelevant, relevant, but to just take it in and try to hold with as much objectivity whatever is coming forward to be noticed. And only after that noticing, kind of giving time, Saturn being time, giving time for meaning to sort of unfold through sustained attention and awareness of what actually is right now in the spheres of Venusian influence. So again, how we attract people, how we repel people, what we want to draw into our lives, how we draw it in. And it's triply important to let go of projecting our dissatisfaction onto the world, or projecting our sense of lack onto the world, or to sources outside of us, in order to make the most of understanding what is our role to play, what can we influence, what can we change, what is ours to do. And Saturn is often called the Lord of Karma, and karma, I like to think of it as merely its action. It's the doing of something and the inevitable effects that follow on from certain causes of our actions. So this is a period of time where many karmic patterns and relationships can be made and also broken. And how it is that we make or break those connections really hangs on, I think one way to understand it is how Venus is a mirror. In so many ways, Venus, a mirror, really represents Venus's nature, and not just because she's concerned with beauty and appearances and symmetry and what is attractive. That's not the only mirror that is a relationship to Venus, because it's that connection to values, and noticing how our values are reflected back to us in our thoughts, our words, our deeds, and what that says about us and our value system, as opposed to what making that a commentary about the world. And in this way, it's a chance to really decide how you're going to aim your life energies. Like, what is it that you want to nourish? What do you want to withdraw from? What is really serving you at this time? What's draining your energy? And we all have a finite life force. There's only so much that we can get done in a given day. And of course, remembering there is a longer span of time, but being strategic about where we put our life energy is something, another reflection that we could get in the mirror of Venus at this time. Because it's important to take accountability for ourselves. That pleases Saturn so much, when we take accountability for what is truly ours. It's a means of building self-esteem, because we might approach this Venus-Saturn, that influence of this time, and kind of following on things that have come clear, the clarity that has come through the interaction of those two planets, to use it for a kind of a house cleaning, and not just taking stock, but taking action to clear the clutter, to make space for new life. And Saturn's action can also correlate to grief and sadness, right? There's loss, there's the recognition of things that we may have loved that no longer fit us, like it's ill-fitting clothing, or things that really make it challenging to grow, to continue to grow. And that is, you don't want to bypass the sadness. You don't want to bypass any sort of grief that comes up, but neither to sort of wallow in it, and to allow what makes you come alive to really be your guide. I think Crow knows what I'm talking about here. In any time of transition, after the loss, after the mourning, after the honoring of what has been, what brings us alive? What makes you come alive? That is the best guidance, the best navigational aid that we can find for for fruitfulness in a transitional time. Thank you, Crow. So, yeah, another valence that we might find useful to explore at this time is our relationship to money. And Venus represents reciprocity of all kinds, including money and exchange, how we value things. And it's a great time to gaze into her mirror, to question, really, what is money for? What is it symbolic of? What if it's a sacred agreement among all beings, including other than human? What if money were that? What if money actually is a metaphor for the whole web of life? It's an earthly form of the divine, a way that we can honor each other's life energies and sustain and support one another in this great mystery of being. What if money was that? If that's what money is, how might we structure our agreements? How might we choose to spend our time in relation to money? How would we order our lives? It's very good contemplation for this time period. And for anything that Venus stands in for the way that we experience love, the way that we seek out intimacy. How does that fit into who we are? Is there some greater version of that, or a growth that wants to happen at this time? Venus is also making a dance with Neptune, which is the planet of infinity. There's infinite potential. Every archetype is within Neptune. The Salish Sea behind me, that's very much Neptune. It's this vast, undulating sea of possibilities. So when Venus is conjoined with Neptune and Saturn in this very special period of time, when Saturn and Neptune are making a conjunction, it brings forth a new imagination. What is a deeper understanding? What is an evolution or a progression, or leaving behind to, again, like an ill-fitting, something that's ill-fitting that won't allow us to grow. It brings up that kind of quality. And Venus conjoined Neptune, made an exact conjunction February 1st, March 27th, and will again on May 2nd. And being able to peer more deeply into the divine dimensions of what Venus represents is one possibility. And throughout this whole retrograde, just a reevaluation, it's a really good way to think of Venus retrograde. It's reevaluating, going back over, and having a second look. In fact, the word respect, to respect something, means to look again, to have another look. And while it is a very chaotic, frightening, polarizing, and alienating time on the planet for so many people right now, it is also a profoundly creative time. It is also that. And so it is that the Earth community can profoundly benefit from our acts of deep imagination, our acts of creating from a source, a wellspring of life that is beneath the surface appearance of things, beyond even Saturn's province, because Saturn's delusion is that only what you see is real, that this material reality, this can knock on this driftwood and this is all that there is and it's unchanging and nothing will ever change. That's Saturn's delusion. So dipping into these deeper waters of life and allowing what makes us come alive, as the crow cawed, what makes us come alive, and to bring that forward, to cherish that, really engage in the self-reflection that Neptune demands, the presence of Neptune, of infinity, really, really, without self-reflection, we are lost. And engaging with that capacity for consciousness, that is part of the work that is set out for many beings on this planet, and particularly in this planet time. This is a new cycle of the imagination in many ways. Saturn conjoins Neptune only once every 36 years. And it's happening next year. It's very, very prominent influence this year, but it's happening in 2026, coming to exact for the first time at 0 degrees Aries. And Aries begins the zodiac. It's very symbolic it's just so potent. It rings forth this image of a new knowledge coming forth on the earth. And that means through each of us, through you and through me and through the crow and through the Salish Sea. That this is, needs, a space must be made for that to happen. And while absolutely no one of us can control the story or say exactly how it unfolds, we truly can exert an influence. We can participate and know that it matters, it counts, that our lives, our actions, our karma does add up. So coming back to the Sun-Mars-Pluto in the sky, and this tremendous ambition that is held in that combination. It's the real question here is, it's the challenge. Like, what are we aiming for? Really, truly, what are we really aiming for? Thank you so much for watching or listening. Again, my name is Erica Jones, and I'm a counseling astrologer, a practitioner of metaphysical healing and the mystical arts. And I'm also offering sound healing now. If you'd like to schedule a session with me or send me an email to learn more, I'd love to hear from you. My website is realimaginal.com, and you can find that link in the description below. I hope you have enjoyed this. Thank you so much. With best wishes for your well-being in all the ways.